Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawamian greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun. Good morning, Marianas.
Good morning. Well, now I'm all fired up. Where did that come from? Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. I am having a great Monday, and I had a great weekend, too. And it's going to get even better because I'm here with you guys today. Except for I cut myself shaving this morning. I'm going to have to get tested for, like, hemophilia or something because this was a bleeder that I just can't seem to stop. What is going on? Hey, anyway, good morning, everybody. It's great to see you out here. And we are just getting ready. We're sitting here watching football. That's what's going on. I am all about the scores and all the games that are happening. My eyes are really, of course, toward tomorrow when the Buffalo Bills take on the Jaguars at home. Oh, why? Because I'm a Bills fan. That's why. In fact, tomorrow is a doubleheader because on Monday Night Football, the Bills are hosting the Jaguars, but the Bengals are also hosting the Washington Commanders, and that is going to be interesting. Man, I'm going to be dealing with this all show. I swear, man. I took off the, if you guys shave, guys probably do, if you cut yourself, you usually put on like a little tissue or something, and I did, and I'm like, all right, time to take it off now. I took it off, just opened it right back up again. No. So maybe I'm going to throw a little piece of this little napkin on it and see if that helps. For the show. Hopefully it's not terribly distracting. I'm going to try that. Yeah, a little. I got myself really good. And what was I paying attention to this morning? How would I get myself? Well, all I know is I got myself pretty good. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you out here. And it is 7:16 in the morning out here. Started you off with a little bit of music and some traffic as things were going on when I was trying to get all this stuff together over here today. But either way, it was a great weekend, and we're great to be back here for another week of Marianas goodness. Oh, God, you guys, you probably already saw it. You may have already seen it because they are taking out ads on it all the time. But we did a new spot. We talked about that we are doing something for Paradise Dental. Oh, and we did. We had some fun. We did that shoot a couple of weeks ago. Finally got it all together and got everything approved. And we are feeling pretty good. Also, the spot that we did for the and Posse finally got done too. I'm really excited about that too because we put a lot of work into that with them, and it's the first one that we did for them. So we now are going to have a couple of new ads that we got with a couple of our sponsors that we're really happy about, and that we're going to share them with you today too. And Posse 1A, and there we go. Yeah, and so. The little family of advertisers and supporters for the show is starting to grow, and that's pretty darn cool. That's what we think anyway. So you'll see that today during the show when we bust out some commercials, and hope you guys think they're as cool as we think they are, because these are people that, we're working with folks that we love. That I heard this from one of these, I don't know if you want to call motivational speaker type guys. James Altucher, guys made millions, lost millions, made millions, lost millions, all these kind of things. And he said, if you're going into business, you should only work with people that you love. And I love that idea. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. It was a culmination of all kinds of different things that put us on this path. And, just working with people that you love. That's it. And so that's why I'm really glad that I get to do this, because I get to work with you guys. I mean, I get to work with the Paradise Dental folks. I get to work with the folks over at Turnkey doing this stuff. Get to work with folks at NM Posse. Get to work with folks from OVR, and you name it. CLI, we're looking at you. That's right, Center for Living Independently. Those are some folks I want to do a lot of stuff with too. Like, those are my top 3 that I really want to help out with some projects, but we spoke about that a bit before. So let's get to some of the things that we've got going on. First of all, I hope you had a great weekend, and it got kicked off with a great Friday night, because on Friday we had the Green Gala over at Crown Plaza, where they were able to award some of the folks who have been doing great work in the community for the environment for throughout the year. The Green Business of the Year. Unfortunately, they weren't there. Wee Wee's Professional Lawn Care Services. They got Green Business of the Year. Lawn care, you figure they're going to win, right? But they do a lot of stuff. They adopted a beach. And again, they're a small company, and they're already supporting by cleaning up part of a beach. And that's pretty cool. You got to absolutely love all that stuff, too. Other folks, Tassi to Table, they won the Environmental Heroes Award, which was a really great thing. And it was great to see Cecilio out there getting down. I have never seen that dude dance like that. Holy cow. That dude was getting down. I've never seen him out having a good time. That's just because I just haven't been at the right places. Man, I'm going to do this all morning. I gotta do something. DFEMS, help me out. Oh, man. It's gonna be a thing. And then who else? We had Randy Harper ended up winning the Champion Award, the Environmental Champion Award. Randy Harper and Marilyn Swift, and it's for all their work that they do, taking care of birds. And I'll tell you, they have done things they've been here for 30 years. They came out here as archaeologists, and they had only one of them was able to make it there, but they're both got to feel the love from everyone. And we hope to hear more from them this week, because reaching out to Randy and want to hear more about his story, about how they came out here as archaeologists and somehow fell into taking care of birds for free, for nothing. They're not bird experts or anything, but they found a way to take care of birds, and they are awesome folks. I'll tell you what's really cool about that, I have given them birds. Not like I own birds, but I have called them. They are my go-to. If I find an injured bird that needs some help, I reach out to them. I've at least done 2 that I can remember. And one was a white fairy tern, and I did that while I was running the hash at one of the parts on the trail. I just saw this poor little fairy tern that needed some help, and hung out with that bird until they got there. And another time was when we were at the Hyatt. Remember that place? It used to be in Garapan so long ago. We were at the Hyatt, and a kingfisher had fallen into a pool, but it didn't look like it was a mature kingfisher, and it was wiped out totally. And so I held on to it, kept him warm. I actually ended up putting him in my shirt pocket and to keep him warm, and he was not trying to run away or anything, trying to get him dried off because he was soaked to the core. Called them, and they picked him up from us at the Hyatt and took him back home and did the best they could to get him healthy. And it was really pretty cool. And they do that kind of stuff all the time. And then they send me videos of the progression and all that. So hats off to them. They're really fantastic. And you know what's funny is that the next day I got photo and video. I'm going to spare you the video, although I thought it was pretty cool. I'll tell you about the sparing. But get up in the morning, and it was not super early, but the sun had already gotten up, and went into the kitchen, opened up the refrigerator, and all of a sudden, a bird flies out. Like, what the heck? There was a sparrow in our kitchen. Happens, right? Birds fly in, birds fly out. We got the doors wide open to the sea breeze and all that stuff coming in the morning. And holy cow, right? So this thing's, flying back and forth. I'm like trying to calm him down. I'm like, all right, calm down, buddy. You're going to be fine. And I waited. He flew and he got behind the microwave, and then he flew out again, and then flew back into a screen. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, he's probably gassed. So, walked over to him, picked him up. I'm like, come on, buddy. You're going to be fine. No, he just was in that little mouth open freak out mode. and then but not trying to get away, just holding them, talking to them, going outside, and thinking, oh my gosh, she's fine, right? And and he didn't want to leave. I'm like, oh my God, do I have a pet now? I have a pet sparrow. We gotta have to name him Jack, right? Captain Jack. Anyway, he eventually flew away and everything, but took a little while before he did. But I thought it was like perfect because it was the night before was the Harper's night, talking about them and their work with birds. And there we go in the morning. I got this little sparrow that came in looking for a little help. Just a reminder of all the work that those guys do. And they do it for nothing. It's just because it's one of the things that they love to do. So hats off to you. Congratulations to all the winners at the Green Gala. And congratulations to Mina for continuing to honor the environmental stewardship of the folks here in the CNMI. It keeps us in the forefront of, keeps the environment in the forefront of conversations and efforts of what people do on a regular basis. Now, we did that on Friday, and that means we missed baseball. We covered it. I wasn't there. That's the tough part for me because I want to see this game between the Padres and the Bandits. So I missed it for sure. But thanks to Louisa and Chuck, we got it on NMI News Service because those guys were there and keep it score. And the Bandits ended up, the second place Bandits ended up losing. They lost to the Padres. Now, I feel bad for the Bandits for losing because, they're a good team. They're good fighters, and they just and they got doubled up 10-5. But the Padres, I'll tell you what, those Padres, even though it might have been further down in the standings, they were a powerhouse, an absolute powerhouse. The Padres were great. This is going to be an excellent series. If it couldn't be the Falcons and the Cardinals in the finals, I think we've got a great series. These guys are going to play well. It's going to be a great contest between them, and we're up for a lot of excitement. I don't have the schedule yet, and maybe, Luisa, maybe you got it, because I didn't get it, and I didn't message Shine yet to find out, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, good morning, Vincent Raymond. Good to see you. Hey, Donna's there. Yes. Oh, my God, Donna, that's me, too. That's so awesome. I absolutely love that that's how you guys got it. That is great. Oh, man. Yeah, Luisa, that's where I was. That's why I couldn't be there. I mean, I guess I could have been there, but then I had already committed to doing this. Hey, good morning, Eric. Good to see you, too. I had committed to when it's funny, we had Roberta Guerrero on. She is the executive director for MENA. And I saw her at the general membership meeting for the Saipan Chamber of Commerce. I'm like, hey, you got the Green Galas coming up. Can I get you to come on the show and talk about it? She's like, yeah. Hey, you want to be the MC? I'm like, how do you say no to Roberta Guerrero? You can't. That's the answer. She's just great. She's just absolutely lovable. And I've known her for years. And I'm so glad that I got to do that and work with them and help them out as their MC. But that's it. So it just so happened that our playoffs kept getting pushed back and back and back and back and got pushed into that same date. So I didn't have a chance to do anything else. So that was it. Melanie, great to see you. Man, you've been posting all these like karaoke videos. Where are those videos from? I don't know where that place is. I'm seeing all those, and it looks really cool. All right. What else is going on today? Oh, well, we're creeping up on 7:30. So you know what? Let's do this. It's just about 7:30. I'm going to show you a couple of commercials to support our sponsors for sure. One of our sponsors, pretty well because we've been talking about these guys for a long time. Now, I'll tell you what, the soccer season is back in session for the guys. And that means I think I need to get out there and start hitting the weights a little bit because going out there and playing yesterday, we beat the Bangladesh team, which is great. But, you just want to go out there and you want to be more fit. And how do you do that? You can't just I have found this. You can't just have a membership. You have to actually go to the gym. I know. It's tough. It's a tough reality that you face. You got to get out there and use that membership. And sometimes you're wondering, hey, what if I'm going to get a membership, where should I go? There's a few choices here in Saipan. Well, I'll tell you which one to go to. They're open 24 hours a day. Yeah, they're there for your schedule, 24 hours a day. And they're the newest facility in Saipan. They've got the greatest free weights. They've got the greatest machines. They've got bikes. They got the sauna. They got the cold plunge. They got an octagon. Yeah, for real. And they have great certified fitness trainers. They've got supplements. They've got gear. The only thing they need is you. Stop down to Laddiebill 24-Hour Fitness. They're right down the road here in Chalacanoa, right at the base of the Aquarius Beach Tower. They've got a lot of parking. Again, the only thing they need is you.
Persistence to build, be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book. We be a Lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build, be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
If you're a person with a disability in the CNMI, you have certain rights that protect your ability to vote. This video contains some information about your rights and some resources available to you in protecting those rights.
What are some of your voting rights as a person with a disability? You have the right to vote regardless of your disability. You have the right to cast your vote privately without disclosing your vote to anyone. But you also have the right to ask for assistance as needed. Polling place workers should be ready and available to assist and accommodate your needs. CNMI law requires that you must be registered to vote in the CNMI. You can vote if you are a citizen or national of the United States, at least 18 years of age on the date of the election, domiciled in the CNMI, a resident of the CNMI, and have resided in the Commonwealth for 120 days, are not serving a sentence for a felony, have not been declared by the court of unsound mind, and have registered to vote at least 60 days before the election.
As a voter with a disability, you have the right to vote in an accessible voting place. That means you can get from your car through the door to cast your ballot without physical barriers or impediments.
Under the CNMI law, any voter who needs help in casting a ballot is entitled to request for assistance. A poll supervisor or the executive director of the Commonwealth Election Commission can provide assistance at the polling place, or you can exercise your right to curbside vote. However, whether you vote at curbside or not is your choice. No poll worker can force you to vote curbside. If you are unable to mark your ballot, you may select up to 2 people to help you cast your vote, except that they cannot be your employer or your employer's agent.
The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 requires public entities to provide progress access, reasonable modification of policy, auxiliary aids and service where necessary to afford an individual with a disability an equal opportunity to participate in and enjoy the benefits of the services, program, or activity being conducted by the public entity.
Our primary goal is to have 100% participation of eligible voters in all elections, 100% polling place accessibility, and options for all voters who seek independent and private voting. If you want to know more about your voting rights, please contact the Northern Marianas Protection and Advocacy Systems Incorporated at 670-235-7273 or 74, or you can simply visit our website at www.nmpasi.org.
This video was brought to you by the Administration for Community Living and does not necessarily reflect their official views.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. It is 7:33 in the AM here on your Monday morning, and as you're making your way to work today, take a look out there. It's a little rainy, so be careful. Don't be in a hurry. Those roads are slick. I know it's been dry for a while, and you forgot what rain was like, but hey, just be careful out there. Don't worry. Also, you don't have to worry about school buses because the public school system is closed today. That's right, no classes. It's an intersession day. Intersession, so much better than outer session, I guess. But intersession means that there are no classes, none of the office people, everybody is off today. Not even professional development. It is just a day of being thankful that you got a good job working for the public schools, educating the youth of our Commonwealth. Right now, we're having a great day, though. I'll tell you what, it is 83 degrees out here on Monday, 85% humidity up at the airport, and it's raining right now. Scattered showers and thunderstorms expected throughout the day. Partly sunny skies, high near 88. Winds out of the east, 7 to 11 miles per hour with a 30% chance of rain. But hey, look, we hit on that one. If you were betting in Vegas that we're going to get rain today, that's it. You win. Tonight, we're looking at more scattered showers, mostly cloudy skies with a low near 78. Winds still going to be out of the east-northeast around 8 miles per hour with a 30% chance of rain. Tomorrow looks like it's going to rain again, 40% chance, mostly cloudy skies, high near 87. And that's kind of how it's going to look for us for the next few days. So we'll see how it works out. But we're used to this. It's not too bad. It's not too heavy of a rain. And this is stuff that we can absolutely deal with. It looks a little darker behind me, though. Right? I mean, it looks a little dark. It's all right. It's not too bad. I think it's nothing that we can't handle in Saipan. After what we had for like the 3 weeks beforehand, I think this is going to be just fine. And we are definitely looking forward to having the baseball finals. I don't know exactly when they're going to start, though. Luisa, we got any help with that? Have you heard anything? I know they were going to. It's the best of 3 series between the Cardinals and the Padres. That means the first team that wins 2 games wins. And these 2 guys, they're both so talented, it could go all the way. I think the Cardinals are stacked. The Padres got a great team too, but man, is it going to come down to pitching? Because the Cardinals got a boatload of pitching. And we're just going to see what happens. I think pitching usually is the thing, and that's what really helps those kind of series. Are they going to have someone to go to afterwards? Well, so I guess that's it. All right, so we've got a couple of things that we want to pop off and let you guys know about today. Also, I don't know if you saw this, the body shaming stuff in the paper today. It's funny. It is funny to me, but I'll tell you why. Because I don't think it counts as discrimination at all. And CBP, it's the federal guidelines. They're talking about getting their officers from Saipan to Rota for the Guam to Rota flight. And Star Marianas they're doing all the work, really. I mean, they are, you talk about like bring home the bacon and fry it in the pan. That is exactly what Star Marianas is doing. They are flying an officer from Saipan to Rota so that they can screen the flights effectively through CBP before they go off to Guam. All right, so they just want to make sure that everyone's got the right immigration status when they go out there. They got the right citizenship status, all that good stuff, right? So Star Marianas is doing it, and they don't charge CBP anything for it, which, by the way, sounds kind of funny, right? Like somebody's got to pay to have that officer there. If they don't want to station somebody there, somebody's got to pay to bring them there. So who should pay? Should it be the CNMI? Yes. It is the answer. Now, who in the CNMI? That's the big debate, right? That's what people are going to have to figure out pretty soon. And they're going to have to figure it out pretty soon because Star Marianas has said, hey, it's just not going to be us anymore. Star Marianas they said, look, we're providing a free service. CBP's not paying us. CPA's not paying us. The CNMI's not paying us. They are taking a seat on the limited flights they have, or the limited seats they have on the plane. They've got those Navajos, right? They got two twin engines and 10 seats. 2 of those seats are the pilot and co-pilot, right? Then you've got the rows of seats behind you for the passengers. So there's like a weight limit on those things too, right? So this is not talking about like a big 737 from Boeing where the doors fall off. But this is just a small commuter plane. And so they're saying, look, help us out. Help a brother out right here. Because if we're going to fly this officer from Saipan to Rota for free and nobody's paying us for it, at least give us someone that counts as one person. Right? I know that sounds kind of like a jerkish thing, but really, the thing is that means they want to give up the amount of weight of one passenger instead of having to sacrifice 2 passengers that they could get on that flight. I mean, because they need to fly. They're trying to fly people from Rota to Guam from Saipan, right? It's not just Rota and Guam back and forth, right? That's it. They're flying the guy or lady to Rota to screen them, and then they're flying off, then they're coming back to Rota, picking that person up and going back to Saipan, right? So that means if they're trying to just use one seat, the seat is one thing, but the weight of that person is something else. So what they asked for, they're like, look, nobody's paying us for it, right? Can't you just help us out? Give us a smaller officer. It's not because they're like, hey, I'm in the small chicks or something. No, they're saying, like, look, based on the weight requirements of this aircraft and the space allowed, can you give us a smaller officer? That's it. And they're saying that's so CBP wrote, it was a letter from Star Marianas to Customs and Border Patrol. Now, the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol head here said, hey, that's not cool. Like, we're going to give you who we got. And I don't know that that's cool. You're literally telling them, look, you need to do your job and we need to get you there. It's not discrimination. Okay, let's talk about it. You want to talk at the localist level on the small planes. You can't do the skydiving in Saipan unless you're under 200 pounds. I think 220. 220 or 225. And it's not because they're being jerks about it. Because they got requirements like strapping on to somebody because they're a tandem dive, right? They're not discriminating against somebody who's bigger. They can't do it, right? It's not safe for the person that's connected to you. And it's less about the falling. It's more about the landing, right? But astronauts, they're going into space, right? They have requirements too. They don't all have to be lighter, but they can't be, they have to fit a certain, they got health standards for people going to space, right? I mean, it makes sense, right? Same thing with the military and the police and all that stuff. So these guys, for the plane, it's not like there isn't some kind of a weight limit. There is a weight limit for those flights. And if you've got somebody who weighs 360 pounds, and that's essentially who this person is, and it's not a knock on that person. It's not saying anything negative about that person. You can if you want to, but that's not what Star's talking about here. They're like, look, the weight of one person makes a really big difference. It's the same reason you can't send someone who's 180 pounds with 180 pounds worth of luggage to screen your passengers. You just can't. There's a weight limit for the planes, and that's it. If you send a heavier officer, then that means that's another seat that they can't sell for that flight. They're already doing it for free. Now you're asking for 2, essentially. So calling it a discriminatory practice is just nonsense. It's not cool. You just say no. Can't do it. I mean, what would you do? They are doing a service. The CNMI, if now here's this though. If they were being reimbursed for this, then it would be a different story, right? If the CPA was taking care of it, or the CNMI government, excuse me, was taking care of it. That's one thing. But nobody is paying them for this. And it's about time somebody does. I think it's CPA's responsibility. The people who run the airport have to make sure that everything's in place for an airline to fly, pick up passengers, and see them depart. It's got to be the people who run the airport. It's not the people who run the airlines. It's the people who run the airport. That's it. Somebody's got to pay for it. And if you think that there's no money for it, then where's all that money go? What are you paying for? Where does all that money go? Is it for like some new superstar facility that makes no sense? I mean, really? I mean, I don't know where to start poking holes in that bubble. And certainly, to be fair, there's no, like, I'm not the expert for all this stuff, and you guys aren't either. But the thing is that you got to pay for the essential services. Being able to screen people before they leave is an essential service. If you can't have the people there, then that service doesn't work. You have to have all that stuff lined up. And if CPA isn't paying for it, like, how could they be getting away with this for years? Because it's just the nice nature of people in the CNMI. That's really it. Everyone's just generally nice and generally accepting. We'll find a way, even if we're not the best at everything that we do, we always find a way to make something work. It's like all these different events and all that stuff. Even if the advanced planning that you think happens for all these major events doesn't happen that way, we are so good at coming together in crunch time. Well, I feel like that's what happens with these flights. And then what's been happening with it for years. The CPA just needs to do it. That's it. You know what would be really great? For them to identify an airport that works. Like something like our size, I guess. An airport that services a commuter community and an international community. Maybe that's Maui. I mean, you could say Honolulu, but Honolulu is so big, right? It is like Oahu's airport is the massive airport, right? They got to be fielding way more traffic than we do. So maybe Maui. I mean, because they get jet traffic and they get commuter traffic. Hilo's probably too far, right? Because they've got to have bigger planes a little bit. And find out, one, what their rates are. Find out, number two, where they spend it and how they fund it. And let's model that. Look, we don't have to be the experts. And if we aren't doing the best job that's possible, we need to accept that. You can't get offended if someone says you need some help, or if somebody says let's fix this and wants to help you. It's not an affront to your manhood. It's just not great sometimes. All right, hold on. This is good news. All right, thank you, Luisa. Really appreciate that. That is great news. All right, I'll talk about that in a sec. Mukulele Airlines. I'm telling you, so it's not even just the airlines. Freddie, good to see you too. Thanks for tuning in. And Ann, great to see you too. Still haven't seen a cat emoji yet, or a cat gift though. Reach out to those guys. Have them consult. You know, we could fly there because I know you guys like to fly and travel. You can use that CPA board traveling money and go fly to Hawaii. Say, all right, how do you do it? Make an exchange program. Have some of our guys go over there for a little while. And then have some of those guys come over here for a little while. Try to have like a little MOU with them. And do it. It does not hurt. That would be money well spent. If we sent like, I don't know if it's the executive director, but I know that it shouldn't be all the board members, right? I think it should be the folks who actually do the work at the airport should be the ones who do that. It would be great to have the people who make that call too, who make those respective calls go there, check it out. And it might not be a bad idea to have the folks from the airlines too. I know that they seem like they've got it all together too. And they'll probably say, hey, we don't have time for that kind of stuff. We're too busy running our business. Okay, that's cool. But I mean, like, the small commuter airlines in Hawaii aren't competing with our airline, right? So it's not like it would be some proprietary thing. Say, like, what are the best practices for you guys? How do you guys figure this stuff out? Can we meet? Can we hang out? Can we Zoom for a little bit? We've scheduled time. I know that they're going to be like, yeah, for a fee. All right, well, they'll figure it out. But it's a big deal. Now, I know that a lot of these things are already outlined with some other regulations. But, nobody's claiming an FAA regulation on this one here. But the thing is that it certainly seems in this kind of situation where there's some real disagreement or dispute on how stuff's supposed to be done. Look, if you don't believe us, here's a model operation right here. Look at this. Then you just got to tell them what this thing is. And check it out for yourself. Say, look, Star Marianas doesn't want to be arguing with CPA and CBP. And they don't want to be arguing with Star either. But what you got is some people who have done all the work, put the time in to read all the stuff, and then the other guys who said they don't want to read the regulations. That's not saying they don't read all of them, but when they get a response that has everything in it, they said as much in their board meeting. They don't want to go through and do all that stuff. Not all of them. They didn't all say that, but I mean, the main issue at hand. And so again, it's a lot of it is, I think, if people are in the same room, that's how stuff gets settled and it gets worked out. All the emails back and forth, all it does is going to tick people off for a while. And you can trade barbs in it back and forth. All you're going to do, just get in and say, look, here's the deal. You should. That's getting into another part about this stuff, and that's about how much the rates are and all that other stuff. Here's what you should be charging. Here's how much you should be. But again, I think they're all well-intentioned people. I think they're all well-intentioned. I just think that some people have a little bit more expertise on it, and people are willing to put in the time for it. How you day? Well, that's just the latest chapter of it. And I don't think it's too much to ask for somebody who's doing a free service to ask for someone who will result in a lower net cost to them for the transportation. It's not too much to ask. Right? But I love that we were talking about this before, though. What's a better solution for CBP instead of having to fly them back all the time? Because there's not enough traffic for CBP to have someone there permanently stationed, right? So why not have a part-time CBP person who lives in Rhoda? Why not? Train up somebody over there who passes all the background tests and everything, and have them just punch in the work that day for that flight. However much time you want to go to set up ahead of time and then wait, then they take off. Is it 2 hours? Is it more than that? Maybe it's 3. Maybe it's 3 hours a day. And that's a 3-hour-a-day job at a federal rate, too. It's probably really good. You could probably get by on Rhoda with that. I bet you could do really well in Rhoda if you had a 3-hour, 4-hour-a-day job, federal job with CBP to do the limited flights that they've got over there. And you only got to work. And what a great job for a retiree, too. Maybe a veteran, maybe a disabled veteran. I'm telling you, that might be the solution. You can't keep someone there full time. Maybe that's it. Especially if they have to end up shouldering that cost. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just easier to have someone there doing that. And while they're there, they could do something else proactive. I don't know. I don't have that part figured out. Yeah, tune in here where you get the solutions to everything for free. Anyway, that's something that needs to be worked out. Right, Freddie? Man, and I'll tell you, I don't want to bite off that this morning. I was going to jump onto something else about airports here. I'm going to go past. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Just to change it a little bit. Just to change it too much. I mean, like, this part should be easy. And this should be an easy request. It shouldn't be taken as something about, okay, so if I want, let me get down the CBP part, just so I can give both sides of that and give credence to it, because, hey, that's fair. I get it from somebody who had to schedule a whole bunch of employees. I understand that you don't want to have to take something like that into account. And so that CBP would end up just doing what they got to, hey, in the scheduling, this is the rota thing, and these are the names go in there. Right. But don't they have physical standards for CBP? Right? So I don't know. I mean, if they're law enforcement, they're regulations enforcement, don't they maybe they don't have any physical standards, right? But if they don't, then I don't think that that's an unreasonable request. Yeah, does it make it more difficult for you to select who's going to go and your scheduling and all that stuff? Yes. But look, if they're giving you something to help you with your job, just do it. Otherwise, there's got to, or maybe, I mean, who's got the leverage here? Really? I mean, is it CBP who's got the leverage? Like, fine. I mean, if you don't do it, you can't fly. Okay. So that means Star Marianas can't fly for passengers from Rota to Guam. All right, so who's got the leverage there? Then it's got to be our local legislators or our local government who would have to lean on CBP and the federal partners to do something about it. And they got to fund it. I don't know. I think all the leverage still goes to Star on it. And ultimately, it's just because Star doesn't want to have to sacrifice 2 seats. And not even for space, even though that might be a thing, but more for the weight and the weight distribution of the plane. So I can see both sides of that for sure. I just want to give you guys a reminder, our phone lines are open, 789-2323, 789-2323. You can weigh in with your thoughts about this. Oh, I see what you did there, Brad. Yeah, I know. Hey, and by the way, somebody called us over the weekend, saw the show phone. Somebody called from San Francisco. Pretty cool. But really, the number that we got for the show, really only using all this. Thanks, Jerry. I know. It's again, it's just a tough thing. You try to. It's easier for us being on the outside of it. Although, we're a little bit handicapped by not having all the information. We're not privy to all of the info that's going to the heart of this thing. We are, since we're not too close to it, it gives us a little bit of a clearer perspective on how to deal with this stuff, right? We're not caught up with all the maybe the other conversations that they have working with each other every day, and maybe that relationship gets strained from some of the other frustrations and all that other stuff. We don't have to deal with any of that stuff. We can just look at it and not be like, well, I'm not going to help those guys. They're being jerks to me about something else. No. It's just human nature. It's just human nature. Have someone go in and just take care of that stuff. Tell you, just bring someone in from one of those airports that we talked about. Have them come in here for a week. I think a month is too long. A week might not be enough. Maybe 2 weeks. Just take a real quick assessment. See how it is. Yeah, you're going to have some fun while you're here in Saipan. It'll be a little break from your day-to-day in Honolulu or Maui or wherever you are. But the whole job is to have them come in and say, where are we doing things right and where are we doing something wrong? Because we can't be doing it right if we're charging what we're charging for everything and we can't pay for the stuff that we need to pay for. Right? Is that Is that offensive? Like, should people feel overly sensitive to that if they're currently with the CPA or currently a board member? No. Look, everybody's in there wanting to do a good job for their community. When you go to the board meeting and you listen to the board members talk, they're not there because they don't care. They're not getting paid for this stuff. Is it because of all the prestige about being a board member? Oh, maybe something, but no matter what, I believe that all of them care about what they're doing. And if you care that much about what you're doing, bring someone in as a consultant for a couple weeks just to take a look at how we got it. It's somebody qualified, somebody who's coming in who runs this kind of stuff. Somebody who's not, you're not bringing someone in just to reinforce your point of view. Say, hey, look, tell us where we're going right. Tell us where we're going wrong. Tell us what you think we should be charging. Tell us what we're not. And not just rate people. Maybe it's more than one person, right? An operations team and an overall management team. And I bet it's not cheap. But I bet, I don't know this for sure, but I bet there's grant funding in there for that. I bet there is. Because with all other federally regulated agencies, they have grants for stuff just like that. Helps out. FAA, give us a grant so that we can have these guys come in from Airport XYZ to make sure that we're doing things the best way to run the airport in the CNMI. All three of them. And if it turns out that we're perfect already, awesome. And if it turns out that we're kind of screwed up and we need to fix some things, that's awesome too. Because we're hearing about it. They're not coming out here to be petty and tell us that we need to change some things. They're just trying to help us make sure we're more efficient. They're going to get paid to tell us how we can be more efficient. Is that a bad thing? No. Crying out loud. So don't feel bad about it. Just do it. Because clearly that needs to happen. That'll get rid of all these little pissing matches that are going on between people. Maybe they just don't want to hear it from the people they're hearing it from right now. That's fair. Human nature, if somebody's still telling you, hey, you can't do it this way. You have to do it that way. After a while, you turn those people out. It's not the right thing, but I'm just telling you, the human nature, that's how it works. There you go. All right. Well, we're at 8 o'clock right now. We are going to take a real quick break, and we'll get you the latest from the Associated Press, because we do have the latest from the Associated Press. It just came out. And we're going to start talking more about the other topics. I know we were a little CPA heavy on that one. Heavy. Oh, gosh. I didn't even mean that one. I was definitely intentional on the weighing in on stuff earlier. All right. Anyway, it's Monday morning here in Saipan. It's 8:01. It's great. And the weather is great too. We're not flying anywhere today, so it's no problem for us, but it's still 83 degrees right here in Saipan. And the traffic looks good. We're going to send you guys the latest from the Associated Press right here. So here we go. This is it, the latest from the AP. And while you're listening to that, we'll let you look at some awesome traffic that's happening right below us on the streets here in Saipan.
AP News, I'm Jackie Quinn. President Biden says he is concerned about a possibly widening war in the Middle East now that Hezbollah's fired more than 100 rockets across civilian areas of northern Israel. Reporters asked if he was concerned.
Yes, I am, but we're going to do everything we can to keep a wider war from breaking out. And we're still pushing hard.
Hezbollah rockets landed near the northern city of Haifa. Israel's President Isaac Herzog.
We do not want to get into a war with Lebanon, but Lebanon has been hijacked by a terror organization, which is also a political party in Lebanon, called Hezbollah. It's been armed to its teeth by the Iranian empire of evil.
A Hezbollah leader declared an open-ended battle is underway. In Birmingham, Alabama, 4 people are dead and nearly 20 injured in a late-night shooting ambush. Here's our Julie Walker.
Police Chief Scott Thurman calls the shooting a hit.
We believe the individual that was targeted is among the deceased.
Audio courtesy WBMA.
Someone was willing to pay money to have that person killed.
He says a woman and 3 men were killed. It took place on the street in the 5 Points Point South Entertainment District. I'm Julie Walker.
Former President Donald Trump was blasting Kamala Harris and the Biden administration this weekend for an increase in immigration.
We have the worst border in the history of the world, and she was the one that ran it.
He's vowing to deport millions of migrants if he's elected in November, and some legal experts think he will be able to use a law from the year 1798 to have governors order the military to remove so-called alien enemies. In top 25 college football, Texas remains on top. Tennessee moved up to number 5 in the Associated Press poll. This is AP News. The West Wing visits the West Wing.
I'm Archie Zaraletta with an entertainment update. The West Wing stars Martin Sheen, Dulé Hill, Janelle Maloney, and Richard Schiff, as well as creator Aaron Sorkin, were at the White House on Friday. They came at the invitation of First Lady Jill Biden to mark the 25th anniversary of the show.
I don't want to be a one-man band.
Old Dominion have released a greatest hits compilation called Odies But Goodies. Singer Matthew Ramsey says they're already working on new music, but this was recognition for a body of work.
We definitely have reached a point where we're like, wow, look at what we've done.
Season 6 of the Kelly Clarkson Show.
Kelly Clarkson brings back her talk show starting Monday. Clarkson takes the subway to work. She says she doesn't usually get recognized, except
as soon as I open my mouth to speak is when people will go, wait, what? And then that's what gives me away.
I'm Archie Zaraletta.
And I'm Jackie Quinn, AP News.
If you're a person with a disability in the CNMI, you have certain rights that protect your ability to vote. This video contains some information about your rights and some resources available to you in protecting those rights.
What are some of your voting rights as a person with a disability? You have the right to vote regardless of your disability. You have the right to cast your vote privately without disclosing your vote to anyone. But you also have the right to ask for assistance as needed. Polling place workers should be ready and available to assist and accommodate your needs. CNMI law requires that you must be registered to vote in the CNMI. You can vote if you are a citizen or national of the United States, at least 18 years of age on the date of the election, domiciled in the CNMI, a resident of the CNMI, and have resided in the Commonwealth for 120 days, are not serving a sentence for a felony, have not been declared by the court of unsound mind, and have registered to vote at least 60 days before the election.
As a voter with a disability, you have the right to vote in an accessible voting place. That means you can get from your car through the door to cast your ballot without physical barriers or impediments.
Under the CNMI law, any voter who needs help in casting a ballot is entitled to request for assistance. A poll supervisor or the executive director of the Commonwealth Election Commission can provide assistance at the polling place, or you can exercise your right to curbside vote. However, whether you vote at curbside or not is your choice. No poll worker can force you to vote curbside. If you are unable to mark your ballot, you may select up to 2 people to help you cast your vote, except that they cannot be your employer or your employer's agent.
The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 requires public entities to provide progress access, reasonable modification of policy, auxiliary aids and service where necessary to afford an individual with a disability an equal opportunity to participate in and enjoy the benefits of the services, program, or activity being conducted by the public entity.
Our primary goal is to have 100% participation of eligible voters in all elections, 100% polling place accessibility, and options for all voters who seek independent and private voting. If you want to know more about your voting rights, please contact the Northern Marianas Protection and Advocacy Systems Incorporated at 670-235-7273 or 74, or you can simply visit our website at www.nmpasi.org.
This video was brought to you by the Administration for Community Living and does not necessarily reflect their official views.
All my friends, I'm here waiting for you.
welcome back, Marianas. It is 8:08. That's right, it's Hawaii time, right? Apparently. It just clicked in. 8:08 in the morning here in Saipan, and getting you all ready for the week right here on Good Morning Marianas. It's a little wet outside, but it looks like the rain has stopped, at least down here in Oleai. Just make sure you're driving nice and slow and nice and easy out there. It looks like we're getting close. They don't have it all set yet, but we are getting closer and closer to paved perfection. Then after they finish paving this first layer, they're going to put another layer on of all the non-skid. And then after that, they're going to go ahead and put the lines in. We're going to have more lanes. We're going to have bike lanes. We're going to have sidewalks. It's going to be the coolest thing since sliced bread, and we're going to have it here in the CNMI. Thank you, paving project folks. I'll tell you, you know, the other good thing that we've got going on right now is that we've got some great looking roads in Garapan as they are getting paved away out there. I'm happy about it, no doubt about it. I'll be happier when it's all done, for sure. But right now, we're getting close, and that's good enough. We're getting close. And it's supposed to be by the end of the year. We should be good to go by the end of the year. Are you ready for that? Do you believe it? Because I want to say I believe it. I'm just not sure I'm 100% there on the I believe it train. We're close. We are so close to being good with this. I'm just not seeing it yet. Anyway, it is here. It's 8:08 here in the morning. We got a lot of local stuff that we want to talk to you about this morning. We were just talking about, oh my God, is this song really good? Does this bring you back a little bit? I heard this watching a throwback to some breakdancing stuff. And this was in Hawaii from 1984. I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this song. And they were busting it out, an old breakdance video from 1984. There was this kid from Waipahu who was just tearing it up in front of all these folks. And I'm like, oh my God, this video from 1984, this dude who's probably a high school student 40 years ago is better than the lady who just represented Australia in the Olympics 40 years earlier. Can't believe it. Anyway, Tobot, brother, man, it's good to see you. I can't wait till you get back here. I know that you're over there in Guam and doing some great stuff with the fam, but we look forward to having you back here, partner, for sure. Anyway, it is 8:10 now in the morning, and it's Monday, and we got some other stuff to chat about a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw this, which I thought it was pretty cool, that it came out of the Kalili's office. Talk about Tinian being named a World War II Heritage City. I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you what they say it means. So anyway, Tinian and Aguiguan designated as an American World War II Heritage City through the National Park Service. And that's pretty cool. It says these things, they recognize and honor the contributions of American towns, cities, counties, and their citizens who played a significant role in supporting America's war effort during World War II. It says here, of course, we know this, but Tinian was converted into the largest air base in the world after its capture by U.S. forces in 44, and in August of 45, yeah, we know what happened there. Tinian and Aguiguan municipality among the 7 newly designated jurisdictions to join 30 other localities already recognized. I'll tell you what, that's true, and it's great, and it's only taken 80 years to do it, so I guess we'll take it. But, you know, so much of what we do and how we regard ourselves as a world power is based on things that happened 80 years ago. I think it's time for us to keep moving forward and not linger too much about all those accomplishments. I can't believe it took 80 years for Tinian to get recognized for that, but, you know, we'll take it. Maybe 20 years ago would have been good. Maybe 30. Well, I guess not to get chippy. We'll take what you got. We'll take what we got. All right. But I will say this, which is pretty cool about it, is that when they talk about Tinian being the largest air base in the world, it absolutely was. If you haven't been to Tinian to see it for yourself, then you probably It doesn't make sense to you. But even if you've been to Tinian, you might not have fully appreciated, because 2 of those runways are all covered up, and all those access ways are all overgrown, and all those other auxiliary facilities are all overgrown or just gone. Well, now they're clearing it off, and they're going to be resurfacing the North Field and everything like that. But I'll tell you, they had nothing but B-29s flying out of there over and over and over again. And, oh, my God. It was just, I can't imagine. It was like Guam in Vietnam, where they had like 160 plus B-52s flying out of there, right? Well, before that, these guys conquered, they defeated Japan and set up an air base where they can launch repeated missions over and over and over again on Japan. And they did it in a crazy short amount of time. It was that's one of the reasons why we won the war. It was just our ability to just set stuff up and go. Set it up and go. And it was just like a launch pad. Literally, that whole island hopping campaign is like, get there, develop it, ready to go, attack. It's like, and leapfrogging itself all the way to Japan. Well, we're a little slowed down now because we've got a lot more environmental considerations to make. But I'll tell you, during World War II, I know they weren't worried about a reed warbler. Those guys, not when you're napalming a whole island and burning everything to the ground. They definitely weren't concerned with that, so they were able to progress all the way through. But now, now it's a little more difficult to get stuff done. It's a little bit more difficult during peacetime, right? You want to be as responsible to the community that is where you're setting everything up. So you can't do that kind of stuff now. You can't, not with that kind of speed. In fact, it's more difficult for them to get things done now. It's almost a hindrance. But even though you're trying to be as responsible as you can, it almost does really become a hindrance to what we're trying to do out here in the CNMI. Hey, real quick, talking about baseball earlier, about I don't know when the playoffs are going to be. Now we do. The playoffs are scheduled right now. The championship games, the championship best of 3 series between the defending champion Cardinals and the Padres starts tomorrow. There's 2 games, Tuesday and Thursday. It's a best of 3 series. If they need 3, then they're going to play Friday also. Hopefully, good enough weather this week where nothing has to get delayed or pushed back longer at all. So, going to be some great baseball. Yes, we're going to be there. Yes, we'll be there every night. And thank goodness. So, although soccer did start for us this week, us meaning the men's league at up at the training facility in Kobler, I don't think our team plays until the following Friday. So we'll be able to cover all the games this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and if needed, Friday. They didn't need 3 games last time, and because the Cardinals never lost. This time around, though, who knows? It could be anybody. Defending champs looking pretty good. It looks like they're hitting their stride at the right time, and the Padres aren't looking like slouches either. This is going to be a great series. I can't wait to see it. Oh, hold on real quick. Just one moment. Aha! All right. Sorry, just got a message coming in. Oh, yeah, I'm totally going to do that. I'm totally going to do that. Don't worry. Man, that's great. That's a great follow-up from our meeting last week. Oh, man, that is awesome news. Sorry, just some good news that just came in. That I'm going to be helping out some folks who I love also. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so baseball. We'll be there tomorrow night. You guys join us too. It'll be the Cardinals and the Padres tomorrow night, 6:30, Tonco Field. Be there. That's right. And if you can't be there, then you can watch us on NMI News Service. And if you are going there, you can still watch us too, because I know that happens a lot. Hopefully we'll be able to have the full crew for you, because we want to make sure that this is the finals. We want to get the best angles that we can for you so you can see everything. It's really, I'll tell you, it's just, it's not always easy to get a massive crew, but for the finals, we'll see if we can break out all the cool angles and the cool things that we got, because we got some serious talent on the production side, and we'll see if that we're gonna be able to bring it to you. All right, I don't want to get you too excited about that if we can't deliver, but guaranteed we'll be there and we'll be doing play-by-play for these games. That's something. This I promise you. Yeah, I know. Relax, Brad. I can. I will. All right. Did you know there's no classes for PSS today? Yes, you do, because one, we posted it, and number two, we talked about it earlier. But today is also National Family Day. There's a whole bunch of other days. Like everything, every day seems like it has a whole lot of other celebration days. Like today's also National Baker Day. Today's also National Apple Cider Vinegar Day. I've never had it. I heard it's good for you. I heard it's also terrible for you. I don't know. If you guys know anything about it, let me know. But I heard it's supposed to be like awesome. It'll melt the fat away. Ooh, I should be guzzling that stuff. International Day of Sign Languages. That's something I need to do too. I am told by my wife that my sign language gestures are not appropriate sign language gestures. Today's also National Checkers Day, National Dogs in Politics Day, National Field Marketers Day. All right. Oh, Denise will appreciate this. Today's also Redhead Appreciation Day. All right. It's Ginger Monday here in the Marianas. I had no idea there's a Redhead Appreciation Day, but rock on for all you soulless gingers out there. Oh, dude. No, you're not soulless. I know. I'm just kidding. All right. Tobot, I don't know if you know about that apple cider vinegar. But, dude, I'm telling you, they say this stuff's supposed to be magic, melts the fat away. You're supposed to, drink a little bit of it. It's also supposed to, destroy your teeth. So I stay away from apple cider vinegar unless somebody could tell me better. Oh, you know what I could do for you guys, and it's something I want to do anyway. Hold on. Because I was looking at this during the day. We made our picks for the National Football League, and we can tell you about what's going on today. Well, first of all, on Thursday night, the Jets beat the Patriots at home in New York. For us, it was Friday, but it was Thursday Night Football, 24-3. All right, that's what you knew already. But let's talk about what happened today while you were sleeping and early this morning. The Browns lost at home to the Giants. No way, I didn't pick it that way. Giants 21-15 over the Browns. Eagles also go to New Orleans and hand the Saints their first loss of the season. 15-12. What is that? It sounds like a Saipan Baseball League score. The Vikings hold serve against the Texans. They win 34-7. The Broncos go into Tampa Bay and knock off Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers 26-7. Packers go into Tennessee, beat the Titans 30-14. Bears losing in Indianapolis 21-16. The Steelers winning at home against the Chargers. Right now, we're in, third quarter. The Seahawks are leading the Dolphins. They scored a bunch early, and there hasn't been a whole lot recently. 17-3 right now. Dolphins lucky to have that 3 points, and they got it because they ended up picking off a ball deep in Seattle territory in the first quarter, but there's been a whole lot of nothing yet. 7:29, 7:24 now in the third quarter for that one. The Raiders, I can't believe they're losing to the Panthers in Las Vegas, 27-7. Oh my goodness. The 49ers right now leading the Rams in Los Angeles, 21-7 with 6:40 to go in the third quarter. The Lions are doubling up on the Cardinals, 20-10. Still a lot of game left, 7:18 left to go in the third quarter. The Ravens going into Dallas, they're up 28-6 with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. And the late game today, the Chiefs going to Atlanta, take on the Falcons. We already told you what's going to happen tomorrow with the Bills and Jaguars and the Commanders and Bengals. Doubleheader for Monday Night Football. That's going to be exciting for us. Faux show. I can't believe the Panthers with the Red Rocket maybe it's because it's Redhead Appreciation Day. Andy Dalton is playing quarterback for the Panthers today because Bryce Young got benched. Oh, my gosh. Oh, and the Raiders are forced to punt again right now. They just got it. Oh, my gosh. I did not expect that to happen at all. The Panthers have looked absolutely awful this season, and that's why their number one draft pick from last season got benched. Andy Dalton looking great already. Again, there's 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Andy Dalton already 22 of 31 with 286 yards and 3 touchdowns. Oh my God, the Red Rocket on Redhead Appreciation Day. My goodness, that's why they made the change. That's why they made the quarterback change in Carolina. What a difference it makes having the season. He used to be a starter for the Bengals. Dude's good. He could play for sure. He's got a lot left in the tank. But listen to these stats. I'm sorry, Greg. I know that this is not what you wanted to hear. Panthers already 337 total yards, 273 through the air, 64 on the ground, and averaging 7 per play. Raiders not having so much luck with Minshew. 121 through the air, 55 on the ground, and less than 5 yards per play. By the way, 5 yards per play, still pretty good, right? I mean, if you got 5 yards every play, I mean, you're going to be getting a first down pretty easily. No, not so much this time. How many interceptions? Has he got any interceptions? It doesn't show. No. So, and it doesn't show that they're rocking any fumbles. So defense is just doing it. But I can't believe they're getting housed at home. Still tons of game left, but down 3 scores at least right now. Las Vegas trailing at home to the winless Carolina Panthers, 27-7. I know it's not what you wanted, buddy, but that's what you got. It happens. Hey, I know what it's like to lose. I'm a Bills fan. All right, we'll keep you guys updated on that as the show progresses. I know we've only got we still got about a half an hour worth of show left for you today, and we'll follow that, and then we'll be back again tomorrow to talk more football as well. All right, so I guess that's it for our football update for today, at least for now, at least in the moment right now. But we do have more things to talk about, and maybe it's not everything that you expected, because I did not expect this when I saw this pop up over the weekend. Apparently, one of the guys who has totally elevated the customer service game in the CNMI is stepping away from a business that he's been running for probably, has it been 30 years? I don't know how long he's been running it. But Jim Aronofsky and Delta Management, they are not going to be running the Shell stations in the CNMI anymore. As of the end of, Halloween is their last night. That's it at Shell. Maybe they're putting on a disguise. I don't know what's happening. But Delta Management has been running the Shell stations. They took over for they were running half of them, and someone was running the other half. Because they were doing so well, they took over those stations, and they were killing it. And they raised the level of customer service. I'm telling you, at the Shell stations, you get Hyatt level customer service when you go there. I mean, you got the friendliest staff. They try to upsell you, which is great training, and they're just incredibly personable. The customer service at Shell stations are outstanding, and that is because, no doubt, from the work from Delta Management President Jim Aronofsky. Now, okay, so 27 years, that's how long they've been doing it. And now he's, maybe for the past 11 years, he's been doing Island Training Solutions. Maybe it was longer, but I want to say it was like 11 years. And he's been helping other companies improve their level of customer service by training their staff, training their management, and doing a lot of things through the chamber as well. And doing an absolute outstanding job. Well, he's leaving that to go and improve and focus solely on the Island Training Solutions side. Now, I'm telling you, they're outstanding. And I know they're located at the Nauru building. I know it's not Nauru building anymore. Marianas Business Plaza, which is right down the street. And boy, I'll tell you, go and talk to those guys. If you want to get some training for your staff or for yourself, they offer so many different programs and so many different training sessions. And sometimes they do it on their own. Sometimes they do it through other organizations where they get participation through the chamber, and it works out great. I've taken them. I've taken the classes through there, and I'm telling you, they're outstanding. So IP&E. So you have IT&E. Well, it's the same ownership group as IP&E, right? So the phone company, phone and fuel. There you go. It's all together. So they all fall under the umbrella of Citadel Holdings, which is the Delgado family, and they are going to be doing this. Now, IP&E has been doing other things, not just fuel-related stuff. They've been doing, at PIC, they have the little store down there. It used to be the boutique, and they used to get all the great stuff over there, like the real good prices on all these cool brands. Well, I guess they still do, but it's different now because it's IP&E instead of like that boutique. It's not their brand anymore. So now they're going to do that. What I hope they do, if now that IP&E is running it, I hope they bring in foodies. Are you familiar with foodies in Guam? I love foodies in Guam. They do. They've got they have good food at their gas station. I know, like Jim brings in good stuff, like high-end beer and like real nice wine and really nice cheeses and meats and all that stuff too. But what Foodies in Guam does, they have some really good like meals to take with you. They got yogurts, they've got like granola, they've got like great sandwiches, like really nice stuff. Boy, I hope they bring that here because that's something that you would get with your Pacific Points too. Now, I know Mobile has the Smiles program. IP&E and Shell, they've got the Pacific Points, and you get points for all the stuff that you buy when you're in those places too. So not just the fuel. That's something that you didn't get here. So maybe that's going to be one of the silver linings that we get out of this. So while we'll be missing Jim Aronofsky and his outstanding customer service that he brings to all of those stations through all of his highly trained staff, maybe we'll get foodies out of it. You could still, hey, if you want, maybe that just makes it better for every other company in the CNMI now, because he can commit 100% to this. He'll have more time to help improve your company's customer service. And that might be it. So you'll be able to be refueled as instead of refueling your vehicle, you're going to be able to refuel your staff with some great training through Island Training Solutions. So I'm looking forward to that at least. So congratulations, Jim, on 27 years running the gas stations out here for Shell, but also for raising the level of customer service to a level where it just isn't in other places. It's not a knock on anybody else. It's just shining a spotlight on a guy who's been doing it great for a long time, and now he's going to be doing that full time. So hats off to you, Jim. Great stuff. Funny, I met Jim Aronofsky, I want to say about 20 years ago, and it was when I was working at the Saipan Tribune, covering sports. And one of the assignments I got was to cover the volleyball league, the beach volleyball leagues that were played at night at PIC. First of all, that was a lot of fun. They were Tuesdays and Thursday nights in the spring and in the fall, and they should bring that back. That would be outstanding. Anyway, and because I was covering it, I'm like, well, if I'm covering it, they offered me to play. I'm like, well, sure. While I'm here, I'll play. And I'll get to know everybody, and I'll get to know the league a little bit, and I'll get all the inside scoop on the stats. And I did, and it was great. But because I was new, they always made new guys captains. So I had to draft people. I had no idea who they were or their talent level or anything. And it got down to the picks, and I ended up picking Jim. And I picked Jim. Again, sight unseen. I don't know how he can play. I don't know how anybody can play. I couldn't play. And but I picked him specifically because his last name, I'm like, that's a good hockey name. I came from New York where I'm a hockey player. And like Aronofsky, like if he was a goaltender, Aronofsky with the save. Coming down the left-hand side, the feeds it over to Aronofsky. Aronofsky jukes, he shoots, he scores. Aronofsky is a great hockey name. Turns out he wasn't just a good volleyball player, he's just a great guy all around. And I've known him and his wife Jill, and then I met their kids, watched them grow up out here, and then move on and become adults and all that stuff now. We're waiting for Jim to become an adult. Anyway, just been a great guy to me the whole time, too. Oh, Chalaquiles. Oh, Tobat. Man, on a rainy day, that stuff, that speaks to me. That'd be great. Arrascaldo's good stuff, too. And if they end up bringing foodies here, I know they got all those good things. And the prices are really good, too. Like, man, some really good sandwiches. I'm telling you, like, the sandwich game and the nutrition game at the Guam gas stations is a whole nother level. They are like a higher level than where we are right now. First of all, they also have different prices at their gas stations. Wouldn't it be great to get another competitor into our market for fuel? I would love to see that. Especially because I love the idea of having all those different fuel things. I am so jealous of seeing Troy Torres and his Circle K coffee that he gets. And, oh, man. I know we have good coffee here. I'm talking about that. It looks so good over there. And it smells good when you walk in there, too. All right. Oh, you're down at Tobat. I know he's over there building his late father's crypt. He said, I'm down at the Molesto Cemetery if anyone wants to bring some over. And you're down in the south. Man, I'll tell you, the south side of Guam. If I ever moved to Guam, that's where I'd want to go. There's something magical about the south side over there, man. That is it for me. Absolutely love it there. Love it. All right, well, this is not the south, but it does start with an S. Sarugtasi. This is a heads up to folks who live in and working out there in Sarugtasi. You're going to be losing some power tomorrow, just in the morning from 9 a.m. to 12. And it's not going to affect any of your water, so you're good to go. But we're going to be replacing some power poles here, right? Because there's a power service interruption and it's planned. Yep, they're going to install a new power pole. We're replacing stuff out. It's not going to affect any lights, any water wells, any wastewater facilities, so you're good to go about that. But you're going to lose some power in Sarugtasi tomorrow morning. Only 9 o'clock to 12 p.m. So don't sweat it. Don't feel too bad. Just a limited power outage tomorrow, Sarugtasi, so plan accordingly. Southside certified. Yes, that's right. That, by the way, wouldn't that be great branding? And that could be for anything. Maybe that's a clothing brand, number one. But like if there was like a small business association just for like the south of Guam or just the south of Saipan, Southside certified. That's great. It's Southside certified. I love it, dude. That's a great idea. I love that. Oh, all right. You know what I don't love? I love justice being done. But according to the Public Defender's Office, they believe that justice was not done when former law clerk William Abrazinkas was convicted on 3 charges. They don't think that the evidence was there. They don't think the evidence presented rose to levels. Basically, they're saying they disagree with the jury's decision. Tell you what, spoke with a couple of the jurors. They're very confident in their decision. No, I'm not going to tell you their names, but I definitely spoke with them. And they just hated all the stuff that they heard when they were in there. It was just disgusting. Turned their stomach. They say that they made the right decision. Public Defender's Office said nope. And they say in their appeal, they said as much. So they're speaking an acquittal now. Yeah, we'll see where this goes. And I'll tell you, that it's just such a weird case. I know. It's hard to weigh it. You know, you talk about the facts that were presented. I don't know. As a human being, listening to everything in there, I don't know how it could have gone any other way. I don't know. I don't know how anybody would say it differently. Now, if you just read the story in the paper, if you just read the transcripts, if you just read the evidence, I think it would be different. Because there'd be too many questions. But that human element is so important. That's why when you're convicted by a jury of your peers. And to listen to how the testimony was delivered, to feel the emotion. And I'm telling you, you can't not have felt the emotion in there. It was tough stuff. It was tough to listen to. It was tough to experience firsthand, but that's why you got to be there. You just can't do it as an armchair. You have to be in there and hear all that stuff. Well, we'll see how that ends up going out. I mean, all I know is that the public defender's office is doing the best job they think they're doing for their client. And that's what's interesting about this. I know that the Attorney General's office wants to advocate for people they feel are victims of crimes. But the thing is that for the Attorney General's office, the prosecution's client is the law, not the victim or the alleged victim. In this case, now that he's convicted, the victim. But the Attorney General's office is the advocate of the law. The public defender's office is the advocate for the person that they're defending. And that's got to be a very difficult road to walk because, you know, the prosecution, they're moved by the people that they're fighting for too. All right, speaking of people getting sentenced, we got the boat people, #boat people. 4 of the Chinese nationals who were trying to get to Guam via boat illegally were convicted. What's going to happen to them? Well, they got sentenced and just last week. And who was it? It was, let's see if we can play the game called Pronounce These Names. Shenhua Zhu, Wei Meng, Hai Long Shu, and Fu Yun Yi. They were 4 of the original 6 folks who were when they were part of the Splash and Scatter crowd, and they found their way to somebody's house in Jigo, and they didn't get any real. They got supervised release, but really it's all about sending them back. They got time served, and there's going to be more from more of the other folks, especially as soon as they catch these folks, the folks who were there, who did get caught there. But these guys ended up paying $10,000 to get to Guam. And they did it to leave Saipan to get higher wages under the radar in Guam. So this fight that's going on between like the business, oh, Louisa, that's awesome. Something Wong. Yeah, this argument that's going on, we're talking about like the Annex 6, we're talking about the Chinese tourists and all this other stuff. It's like we're so focused locally on this, and that makes sense, about like trying to get more tourists here. And I'll tell you, I know that people understand it, but the rest of the country, and then even our folks in Guam, are saying, dude, you guys aren't able to keep people there. You're saying that there's no problem with immigration, there's no problem with people coming there. Clearly, there's an issue. If you've got folks who are willing to pay $4,500 a head, or even $10,000 to get transportation from here to Guam, and illegally at that, right? There's something going on there. There's a reason for it. There we go. And that's not helping our reputation. It's not giving us street cred in U.S. Congress. It's not giving us street cred with DOD. It's not giving us street cred with our neighbors in Guam. Thing is that we've got a lot of overstayers here, right? A lot of people who overstayed their visa. They're not supposed to still be here, technically. And now they're willing to pay a bunch of folks a bunch of money to go to Guam. And some of them get caught. Some of them are not. There's got to be more folks who have done this and not gotten caught. I mean, that's got to be it. I mean, we can't be batting 1,000 on this, right? So that means now a bunch of these folks who have come here under maybe tourism visas, or maybe they were workers who overstayed, got on a boat and going to Guam. Now, are some of those guys bad actors? Who knows? Maybe they're just regular folks looking for a better way of life. Maybe. That would be nice, I guess. That would be the best scenario. Maybe they're not. Maybe there's some bad guys in there too. What are they going to do? I don't know what they're going to do. But I know that they're not supposed to be there, and they're not supposed to do it that way. And the justice system needs to get these guys, and needs to get the boat caps, who not all of them have been identified, by the way. I get the same messages that you get about some of them, about their names. It's so-and-so, it's so-and-so's son. Why is that getting swept under the rug? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I mean, and then I've seen the videos of them going out and getting those guys on the boats at night. Because the officers who did it took some videos of it. No, they didn't send it to me. I got to see it though. I'll tell you, out there in the middle of the night, they're not out there on a pleasure cruise. That's not a fishing trip. They're going out there trying to get to Guam without anybody knowing about it. It's illegal immigration. It happens. It happens out here. And they're not coming directly from China. They're coming from China through us. So if we can't figure this stuff out and get like a bond on all these tour companies and all that stuff, and it didn't even work. But those tour companies, they want to make sure that they get their money back when everybody goes back to their originating destination. But it doesn't always happen. There's still a lot of people here trying to get to Guam. And I get it. And speaking of Guam, it's not just the people who are here illegally that want to go to Guam. There's a lot of people here doing business who want to go to Guam and open up their business here. I just met with one last week, and I would be so sad if they left here because I love their restaurant. Right, but business is booming over there. And you know what? It is. Business is good in Guam. Their power is not so good, but their business is good. You can make some money if you go to Guam. If you're in the right industry, you can make great money in Guam because Guam's doing pretty well. Military's rocking. There might not be as many tourists, but they got a lot going on over there. I know we don't. We're getting there, and that's hopefully what we're going to get soon with more military activity. But the days of rolling thunder from China is not going to be happening for a while. I mean, we're not going to be getting all those flights from China. We're not going to hit that same level. So that's not going to be our source destination. Not in the near future, anyway. And no matter who's doing it, or no matter who's in charge of everything here, it's just not going to happen. Especially if we can't control the flow of people hopping on boats and heading to Guam. And you're going to hear people tell you that it's not a big problem, but it is a big problem. You're only finding out about the ones that get caught. You're not finding out about the ones who do the splash and scramble and those captains who make it back without any problems. You're just not. There's more of it happening. And, who's supposed to be in charge? We're not, it's not really our fault. It's not really our charge because it's not a CNMI's job to keep everybody here. It's not. We can penalize the people who, well, at least the feds can. They can go after the people who are doing that stuff illegally. But it's not our job to say, no, you can't leave. There's nothing we could do. But if people are able to fly here and don't fly home and then leave, that's it. It's just not it's just tough. We're not going to form a protective ring around the Northern Marianas, a flotilla between here and Guam. I mean, I guess Guam could. I guess the U.S. Coast Guard could do that. Stop everybody. You're just going to have a lot of folks in the air with some radar. By the way, those small boats, it's got to be hard to pick those up on the ocean, but I know they could do it. But the ocean, turns out, pretty big. So I know they're not going like 200 miles out. These small boats only can carry so much fuel. And, oops, sorry. You saw that come in. Yeah, they can only carry so much fuel. So there's only so far they're going to go. And they're not going to go way out there. And you're seeing the boats already having mechanical issues. So basically, you better start getting some better boats. You think it's all right, at least try to disguise it as a fishing trip. Because there's no rule says you can't take people 100 miles away for a fishing trip. Might be a little sketchy, No, we're fishermen. We're just enjoying a tour. You can't tell us we're not. Maybe that's the next thing about this. They take them out on these fishing boats. And for all the money that they're spending, you give them like a cheap jet ski. And I mean, like, you gotta make it efficient. You cost effective. You can't do it where it's those real nice ones that people pay like a lot of money. Aren't they like $20,000 now for the real nice jet skis? I'm talking about the old ones, the original ones where like you're either standing or on your knees. Remember that little thing you hold up and all that? The ones that these some of the lagoon fishermen have turned into little boats. They make their own amas for it and everything. Like, I'm talking about those. Use those. And almost like the bad guys in Waterworld. The smokers, is that what they called them? I forget if that's the name what they were. But like those guys. All right, so you get on the fishing boat, that which is the mothership. All right, we're a couple miles away. On your mark, get set, go. Go get them. The Sea-Doos, yes. Go out there and get them. And and that's it. So now, how much does it really cost? In fact, maybe make your own. We got some talented folks. Make your own jet ski. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe even if they get caught, then you can say it's a tourism activity called Build Your Own Jet Ski. And you make them, and then you take them out and test them on the water. So even if they get caught, it's like, oh, man. I didn't know they were going to go to Guam. Hey, you went 2 miles away from Guam. Well, yeah, just to see it. We wanted to get them out at the open water. I don't think that's going to work. But that would be pretty cool. If you just think of this little armada of Sea-Doos. Sorry, Guam. Oh, man. That would definitely change the face of Jigo. All of a sudden, okay, I'm dialing that back. All right. I'll tell you what, there is a better way to make money involving boats and being at the sea. But you got to be really good because it's a winner take all. There was a tournament, a fishing derby over the weekend. It cost $1,000 to enter per boat. And it was whoever caught the biggest billfish. And it wasn't even a particularly big one. And they won $20,000. The Saipan Fishermen's Association hosted it. It's the second annual Elijah Craig Billfish Tournament. It happened on Saturday, and people were talking about it all morning. And they were talking about in the afternoon, too, about, oh, my God, a boat came in. I'm telling you, it was $1,000 to get in the tournament. And it was rough. I mean, the water was rough out there. The wind was whipping up all over the place. This is not the time of the year where it's fun to be out there fishing. This is the storm season, right? This is it. This is typhoon season. And the winds pick up a little bit. And it was better than it was the week before, but still wasn't great out there. And so even the biggest marlin that got in, this is the marlin that won, 121 pounds. Dude, that's not a big marlin. Still a big fish. If I caught a 121-pound fish, I'd be eating the hell out of that fish too. And I'd be happy that I got it. I'd be even happier if it was a $20,000 fish. But $121 is not that big of a fish. And they caught it off the coast of Managaha. And no, Mariana Global did not charge him for it. I know. That's a cheap shot. But the second largest one was 109 pounds. They were not big fish. They are not big fish. I mean, they won on a 121-pound marlin. That's not a big marlin. It's a great eating fish, but it's not a big fish. That was big enough. I mean, as soon as they caught it, they must have came in. I mean, because you don't want to wait. When the conditions are like that, as soon as you catch one, bring it in. Because especially when you find out that no one else had one in, you bring it in. But yikes. The second place, guys, is a big difference. $1,600. First place, 20. Second place, 1,600. That's all right. 1,006. Yep. That's still not bad. It depends on how many guys you got on your boat. Because you've got, especially if you've only got a couple of people, then you're okay. But if you got three, it's still divided up three ways. Because you got to spend $1,000 to get in it. $1,000. Plus you got to pay for gas. And basically, I think that just got them their money back for the day. Which I guess is not bad. And they caught a billfish that they got to eat, I'm sure. Could be worse. They could have not been fishing. That would have been way worse. All right, guys. Well, we're wrapping it up over here. Let's get you the latest of what's going on scores-wise because there are some new updates out here. Let's see what we got. Do we have any finals on these games yet? Not yet, but we are cruising along. Again, we already told you about Friday night game, 24-3 Jets over the Patriots. The Giants beat the Browns 21-15. The Eagles beat the Saints 15-12. Vikings beat the Texans in Minnesota 34-7. Not even close. The Broncos, though, going into Tampa, laying a beatdown 26-7 over the Buccaneers. Packers going into Tennessee, taking on the Titans. Oh, geez, we got a phone call coming in. Hold on. These guys might be football fans. I don't know. Hop a day. Thanks for calling. Good morning, Marianas. Who's this?
Hi, good morning, Brad. This is Martin.
Hey, how are you this morning? Thanks for calling.
Okay, but I heard you were talking about the fishing derby that you just mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was thinking more enticing of that fishing derby because it's a sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
This fishing association to entice more people to involve. Let's beat out the pot. Let's see if it's what's the latest catching record. They have to beat that one. Beat that one because if it's smaller than that weight, we'll catch and release. Because next time we can catch it, so we'll beat. Don't waste those blue marlin or what, needle fish, catfish, because catch and release a little bit to, because the pot will be growing.
Yeah.
It will entice more fishermen.
Yeah, I wonder. I know about that catch and release. I mean, what is the size for marlins? I don't know how that goes. Like, what's the
The
minimum?
last time I recall, if I can, I'm not, but I know Thousand Sam, the one who caught, I think, Augusto. They have to beat the record. If anything if they beat the record, the part one it will go, whatever fishing association collected for any derby, they have to beat that part, so the part will collect if it raise up to $500,000 on the run. Hey, that's very good. It works.
Oh, that would be great.
That's one way. Don't waste those marlin when they still small, 100 pounds, 200, 500 pounds. It doesn't make, that's not sports. Sports, if you see that sometimes we have to beat the record, and if you see that still below the weight, hey, cut over this, because that fish will grow. And the population will be more, billfish will be coming in, get more big around that.
Yeah, you know what? That's great. In fact, while we were talking about it, since you brought it up, that's the Atlantic side, and these are Atlantic rules. I don't know if the rules are different between the Atlantic and the Pacific under NOAA fisheries, but I'm looking for that. This one is like 6 years old already, and they were talking about some minimum size. Federally, it says in order to be harvested, blue marlin, which is not the only kind of billfish, though, right? But it says in order to be harvested, blue marlin must meet the federal size minimum of 99 inches in length, and that's a lot of inches. I don't think those fish now those might not be blue marlins, the ones that they caught.
They're not, because there's a short fish, middle, and the marlin, and the main thing is the marlin is the one gonna go for the record, because that's the target for the whoever will get to the marlin. But if it's middle or short fish, let it go.
I wonder. How many?
We like the U.S. regulation, because I love U.S. That's really, if it's small, they will populate it and grow more bigger to the fullest extent of the size.
Yeah, you know, and when I'm searching for it too, they keep saying marlin. I'm just trying billfish in general, and I wonder if they're just linking them all together. You know, I know some fish people who could really help us out with this. I just hate to call them out of the blue and ask them, but I mean that's the question I want to get. Hold on one second. This came in. Okay, so that's the press release about the guy who got arrested. All right, so check this out. So this is for blue marlin, the minimum size. It's from the lower jaw fork length, so 99 inches. So it's like the lower jaw, not the tip of the bill, just the lower part of the jaw, all the way, and not to the tip of the tail. It's to where the tail forks off like that. It's the base of the tail. So in fact, I'll put it on. By the way, let me. I'll share the screen that I'm looking at, so you guys, instead of me trying to describe this stuff to you poorly, I'll show you what I'm looking at here. This is it. So this is the Atlantic. This is from NOAA's website, and so it says blue marlin. It's 99 inches. And there's no limit to how many you can get, but that's the minimum size. For white marlin, it's 66 inches from that same thing. The round scale spearfish, same thing. That's 5.5 feet, basically, 66 inches. And then the sailfish is 63 inches. So this is from NOAA's website. And none of those fishes look like that kind of length.
I know, but you're going to be surprised, but if I'm going to tell this, 12 pounds with a shotgun bait, the 1/7 hook for the 2 line. Man, 5 feet white tuna, I lifted up night time. Only one hook with the hook that lips of the white tuna.
Wow.
That's outside the reef line. I got a lot of witnesses who can attest to it. And two times I had one night time or one day time. The daytime, I use the right line, 30 pound when then I use like Vedas and Moniti. I just let it go and then I hook up another one. That's why I said, now you're not going. I put it in the same size as it. And my guy said, what the fuck? What have you been eating, man? Why only you said to the, hey, probably you see that tree when you're fishing. You can have luck.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question. Hey, how come people don't like skipjack? I like skipjack. Do you like skipjack?
Yeah. You know that, you see those prepositions in the ship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, if it's choppy, the ocean will be choppy, and you sprinkle the water, you just go beside it and you throw to those lights, because you would get different kind of skipjack, dark blue, gray, dark gray, and gray, and light gray. Because there's these different kind of species, and those skipjack, when they go in groups, in circles, they don't spray, they work together as groups.
Mm. Well, I like it.
They got season, but it's nice when the water is choppy and it's raining, and you're gonna cast those. That's the best time, man. You can fill them up your cooler.
I love it. I love it. Oh man, now I'm ready for fish for lunch today. I'm gonna get some fresh fish.
Especially now that we got this, now the Olympics is coming in after the restriction of the grill net. I say, hey, it's about time. Look at it, even the third are coming in. You can see them around the island now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you Bird Island before. I've been fishing all around the island, but all the corals are brown because of that. But now, since we stopped that one, the net, the third have been trapped and they drifted out to the reef and the tangle up. See? And I hope they're still enforcing the few net to be banded.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for calling this morning.
Okay. Hey, nice talking to you, man.
You too.
Hit me up on when's the player, the championship.
Hey, Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday and Thursday. So game 1 is supposed to be tomorrow at 6:30. Game 2 is supposed to be Thursday at 6:30. And if needed, game 3 is scheduled for Friday.
All right. I will tell you. Hey, nice talking to you, bud.
You too. Take care. All right, Mart. That's great. All right, guys. We are just about to wrap up what we got here. I'll tell you what, before we go, though, I'll get you guys the latest update that we have, at least from, I know there's not a new, because this is Monday for us, it's Sunday for all the folks on the mainland. So they don't have the latest coming out from AP every hour like we normally do. But today we've got the one shot, which we hit already. But I do have the latest sports update. So I'll give you that one. And but I'll give you that right after we get back. I want to say thanks to everyone for tuning in today. We got a little bit more for you. We're not going away yet, but we want to remind you that, hey, I'll tell you what, we just did this cool commercial with Paradise Dental. So much fun putting that together. But the cool thing is, not only was it fun to do that video, the main thing is all the information that's coming out about people. If you have Medicaid, you have dental insurance. And so many places that you go to, you hear, sorry, we don't take Medicaid. Medicaid's not accepted. Oh, I got to check. Nope, sorry, we don't accept it. No, just the opposite at Paradise Dental. Paradise Dental in Gualarai on Middle Road. Go over there, give them a call, 234-4040, and find out why they want you to go there if you have Medicaid. They want to be your dental service provider. And if you have Medicaid, there's so much stuff that you get for it. Doesn't matter what your age is. Your x-rays are free. Your extractions are free. You got fillings free, exams free. And they've got even more things. If you're 19 and under, that's pretty much everything is covered at that age. So give them a call, 234-4040, and find out what they can do for you today.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
AP Sports, I'm Denny Cap. 3 top 25 matchups headlined the day's college football slate, and only one resulted in an upset. 11th ranked USC played its first Big Ten conference game and came up short, falling to 18th ranked Michigan 27-24. Wolverines running back Khalil Mullings ran for 159 yards and a pair of touchdowns.
It was a team effort. Everyone's out there grinding. We were all able to make some plays, so it was beautiful.
12th ranked Utah stayed undefeated, going on the road to beat 14th ranked Oklahoma State 22-19. Utes quarterback Cam Rising missed his second straight game with an injury. Josh Heupel returned to Norman, Oklahoma, where he won a national championship as the Sooners quarterback, this time as the head coach of Tennessee. AP correspondent Dave Ferry.
6th ranked Tennessee kept number 15 Oklahoma out of the end zone for 3.5 quarters of a 25-15 downing of the Sooners. Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel.
Great win for the football team, and proud of the way that we approached the week, how we prepared, how we practiced, and how hard we played tonight.
The most electric play of the game was Nico Iamaleava's 66-yard touchdown pass to Dante Smith late in the first quarter, putting the Vols ahead to stay. Dylan Sampson added 83 yards and a touchdown on the ground. But the Vols defense limited the Sooners to 222 total yards.
Elsewhere in the top 10, top-ranked Texas steamrolled Louisiana Monroe 51-3 in Arch Manning's first start at quarterback. Cam Ward threw for over 400 yards to lead 8th-ranked Miami past South Florida 50-15. 3rd-ranked Ohio State blew out Marshall 49-14. 5th-ranked Ole Miss dealt Georgia Southern a blow. Correspondent Steve Carney.
Jackson Dart threw for 382 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Trey Harris had a career-high 225 yards receiving and a pair of scores as 5th-ranked Ole Miss defeated Georgia Southern 52-13. The Rebels scored the first 17 points of the game, all coming in the first quarter, with Dart throwing a pair of touchdown passes. Dart found Harris for a 70-yard score in the second and a 36-yard touchdown in the fourth. The Rebels quarterback says the chemistry between the two is really developed.
Well, when you have the best receiver in the country, you're going to give him as many chances as you can. So, I just think that we've grew such a great connection, and it kind of clicked from the moment he got here.
One top 10 team got quite a scare from an unranked foe. 7th-ranked Missouri needed double overtime to hold off Vanderbilt 30-27. Correspondent Mike Reeves was there.
Missouri kicker Blake Craig missed 3 field goals in regulation but delivered a 37-yarder in the second overtime session, while Vanderbilt kicker Brock Taylor missed from 31 yards in the second OT as number 7 Missouri survived the upset bid.
And 10th-ranked Penn State blanked Kent State 56-0. Both 13th-ranked Kansas State and 23rd-ranked Northern Illinois were upset by unranked opponents. NASCAR's playoff field is down to 12 after Kyle Larson took the checkered flag at the Bass Pro Shop night race. Ty Gibbs, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and Harrison Burton were eliminated. Coming up next, we check in on the Diamonds with just over a week to go in the regular season. In the race to October, we start in the American League, where the Guardians lost a game but won a division crown. Cleveland dropped a 6-5 decision to St. Louis, but clinched the AL Central when the Royals were shut out by the Giants 9-0 earlier in the day. For the Royals, it was a costly loss, their 6th in a row, as they saw their hold on the second wildcard spot in the American League cut to just a half game over the Twins, who were rained out in Boston. The opportunistic Tigers took advantage of the situation, edging the Orioles 6-4 in 11 innings. Detroit now sits just a half game back of the Twins for the final wildcard spot. The Mariners stayed on the Tigers' tail and gained a little ground on the Twins and Royals as well. Correspondent Bob Stevens.
The Seattle Mariners pounded out 16 hits en route to an 8-4 win over the Texas Rangers to pull within a game and a half of Minnesota for the final AL wildcard spot with 7 games left. Julio Rodriguez led the Seattle attack with his 13th career 4-hit game. He had a homer and 4 RBIs, including a tie-breaking single in the 5th, which put Seattle ahead for good.
Seattle was unable to gain any ground on the AL West leading Astros as they were swinging the bat well, too. Houston got back-to-back jacks from Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez in their 10-4 win over the Angels. Correspondent Adam Spillane.
The home runs came in the 7th inning and were part of a season-high 20-hit onslaught for Houston. Astros manager Joe Espada.
Playing the game, keeping the line moving, a big contribution from the bottom of my order. Yordan and Tuck there in the middle. Huge offensive production from everyone.
The win keeps the Astros' lead in the AL West at 5 games, and it drops their magic number to 3.
And the Yankees wallop the A's 10-0 to take a one-game lead on the Guardians for the best record in the American League and home field advantage through the ALCS. Aaron Judge hit his Major League leading 54th home run. In the National League, the Mets stayed 2 games clear of the Braves for the final wildcard spot with a 6-3 knockout of the Phillies. Correspondent Owen Russell.
Mets outfielder Brandon Nimmo looped a base hit into shallow left field, scoring the go-ahead run and sending the home crowd into a frenzy.
It felt unbelievable today. The energy and the atmosphere. The whole stadium was packed, and they were all into it, and obviously another amazing game between us.
The Braves kept pace by beating the Marlins 6-2. The Diamondbacks hold the second NL wild card and stayed a game ahead of the Mets by 2 hitting the Brewers in a 5-0 shutout. And Arizona stays 2 games back of the Padres, who hold the top wild card spot. San Diego washed the White Sox 6-2 behind home runs from Xander Bogaerts and Elias Diaz. Correspondent Philip Gahn.
Bogaerts started the scoring with his 11th home run of the season in the second inning.
This guy's putting up a fight, they're trying to be spoilers, and nothing has been given easy to us these last couple of days, so it's been nice to be able to fight for it a little bit more than, a lot of people would have probably expected.
Diaz's home run provided insurance as the Padres dropped their magic number to 2 to clinch a playoff spot.
The White Sox tied the American League record with their 119th loss. The Dodgers' quest to win the NL West took a detour when Walker Buehler gave up 4 runs over 5 1/3, allowing the Rockies to stun LA 6-3. Correspondent Mark Myers.
The Dodger offense came mostly from Mookie Betts, who belted a 2-run home run. LA has already clinched a spot in the playoffs, but its lead in the NL West now just 3 games ahead of second place San Diego.
And in games with no bearing on playoff races, the Rays snuck by the Blue Jays 3-2, the Reds pounded the Pirates 7-1, and the Nationals upended the Cubs 5-1. I'm Denny Kapp, AP Sports.
All right. Well, hey, the late games are starting to wrap up a little bit. They're still the late games, but these are the afternoon starts for the National Football League. And the Panthers, geez, I can't believe it, 36-15. The Raiders do have the ball, and there's 1 minute and 3 seconds left, so I guess they're saying there's a chance. No, there's no chance. I can't believe the Raiders are going down to the Panthers. The Red Rocket, Andy Dalton on Redhead Appreciation Day. 319 through the air, 26 of 37, and 3 touchdowns. Chuba Howard going off for 114 yards on the ground. He picked up another 5 receiving. Can you believe it? Miles Sanders, okay. Jonathan Mingo, okay. But Deontay Johnson, the big receiver, 8 receptions for 122 through the air and 1 touchdown. The Jaguars, a brand new team with Andy Dalton as quarterback. Holy cow. Sorry, Bryce Young. Oh, the Raiders just scored a touchdown. It is now 36-22, and with 56 seconds. Don't expect to come back, but I'll tell you, fine. I'll be there for you, buddy. Raiders fans, sure. We'll say you got a chance. What's going on now? Well, the 49ers trying to hang on against the Rams. They're leading by a touchdown, and score is 24-17, and the Rams are driving. 2 minutes left. They've got the ball. They're trailing by a touchdown right now, and they're trying to get there. So that's the only game that's kind of exciting right now. How about the other scores? No problem. We'll give you a little bit of that before we call it a day here for show. The Cardinals still trying to get closer to the Lions. They're trailing by a touchdown in Arizona with 3:48 to go. Lions ahead 20-13. Seahawks made it official. They beat down the Tua-less Dolphins. Dolphins falling to 1-2 on the season after their 24-3 loss over there in Seattle. Steelers beat the Chargers 20-10. Colts beat the Bears 21-16. Titans dropping one at home to the Packers 30-14. Broncos going into Tampa beating the Bucks 26-7. Vikings winning at home in big-time fashion against C.J. Stroud and the Texans 34-7. Eagles knock off the Saints for their first loss of the season, 15-12. The Browns lose at home to the Giants. Who thought that was going to happen? And, of course, the Jets beat the Pats 24-3 last week. So that's it. 3 games remaining right now. The Panthers, I mean, it's all over but the shouting in Las Vegas. But the Cardinals trailing by a touchdown. The Rams trailing by a touchdown in the closing minutes of the game, and they still got a chance. Lions got the ball with 3:38 left to go in the fourth. Rams, they're second and goal right now, knocking on the door on the San Francisco 4, seeing if they can't at least tie this game up right now. And, so if you're a Niners fan, you can't be too you got to be like, oh, how can we pass this game away? Brock Purdy looking good for the 49ers right now, though. He's 20 of 26, really efficient, 249 through the air with 3 touchdowns. His big running back, Jordan Mason, again, coming back. No scores for him on the ground anyway. 19 carries for 77 yards. But Juwan Jennings, 11 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 175 in the air. If you had him in fantasy football today, oh, man, you're going to win that game. I really hope the guy who I'm playing this week doesn't have it. All right, let's just take a look. Did they score? Yes, they did. Is it a tie? It's a tie game in Los Angeles. The Rams tie it up with just under 2 minutes left to go, and the extra point is good. 24-24 in Los Angeles right now. It's exciting. So they're going to be kicking off to the 49ers and seeing what happens over there. But, geez, that was it only took 52 seconds for them to drive down the field and score. And Matt Stafford's having himself a decent day. 16 of 25, 221 through the air with 1 touchdown, and we just saw it. On the ground, Kyron Williams, 23 carries of the rock. I'm telling you, that's a lot of carries for just 83 yards, but also picked up 2 touchdowns on the day. Tutu Atwell, the big wide receiver, picking up all the yards, 93 of them for the Rams, and that's on 4 targets. So he has had a pretty good day. But at least Stafford really getting that ball around. 49ers fans don't care about any of that. They want to find out if they're going to be able to come back and win. Well, we can all watch that together, but I got to get moving here because we're wrapping up for the day. Just want to give you that final update. I want to say thanks to you guys. You guys did great. Again, you little crime fighters, we put, as soon as we got it from DPS, that they were hunting somebody for theft, you guys shared the heck out of that post, got the word around that they were looking for this guy, and they got him. Benny Untalan, he was identified as the guy. I don't know if you guys saw that video that someone posted on Saipan Buy Sell and all the Speak Up pages and all that, but he went into somebody's house and stole from their refrigerator, like their food that they used to feed their family and all that stuff. Well, anyway, you guys shared that post so fast, it got around, and they got him. They arrested him, and they got him on Saturday morning. And they got him at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Hold on, wait. What time did they get him? They got him at 5:30 a.m. And they got him. They found he's also somebody who they thought was probably responsible for a burglary over at Sun Palace. My gosh, I'm telling you guys, we're doing it through our news service and everything, but your tips and sharing it around is really making a difference in fighting crime in the CNMI. I'm telling you, it's a great thing. It's the only place it was posted. It wasn't posted anywhere else. It was only posted here. The guy's picture, the information from DPS, it was only posted on here. Nowhere else on Facebook. You guys shared it. The words got in, the tips got in, and you guys are doing it. I know you guys are just as fed up with everybody else about crime in the CNMI, but you're doing something about it. Congratulations to you guys. I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing. And that's what we get to do. All right, so that's it for us today, guys. We're going to wrap it up, and we went a little long today, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. We'll be back again tomorrow at 7 a.m. for your next edition of Good Morning Marianas, and tomorrow night, baseball playoffs, the championship, Saipan Baseball League, Cardinals, Padres. You don't want to miss it. Luisa and Chuck will be there. That's all you care about. We'll see you guys there, too. Take care. Have a great day. It's Monday. The week has started. Let's do it.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Kirawami, and greetings to the road to Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news, from a beautiful place with Pacific views, it's always so much fun on Good Morning Mariana.